Okay, so this is my Padlet, and the first post on the Padlet is just a little introduction. My name is Raggio. I'm in section one. Padlet number two post is our biography, and so in that post we attached the biography that we read at the beginning of the semester, which served as a way of introducing ourselves to Miss Debbie and allowing her to get to know us a little bit better, which was really important this semester considering we weren't going to be in class as much because of the pandemic. So she wouldn't get to know us as well in the traditional classroom setting like she would in a more normal semester. So Padlet number three, the name tent. We made name tents like you might see in a conference. This was done to help us not only get to know each other's names, but to make it easier for Miss Debbie to associate our names with faces. Since she hadn't taught a lot of us before, it helped us associate each other's names and faces. And I thought it was really smart to include the picture on those because it did help with make that connection and that association more easily. So number four is the concept map. We made a concept map using Bloom's taxonomy to organize our thoughts surrounding a particular goal that we had for ourselves. And my goal was to have a strong dental school application. And the concept doc really helped me to delineate steps that I could take in order to do so. Really, it forced me to think through my thoughts and so that I could organize them using Bloom's taxonomy, which was really helpful for taking broad ideas and translating them into actual actions and physical steps that could be taken. Padlet number five is Symbaloo and Digo and Pinterest. So these were all curation websites that were used to gather links for later reference. I personally enjoyed Symbaloo the most and found it most helpful because it created a sort of homepage that you could jump off of that made information really easily accessible. And like I said, like of the ones we used, that was my favorite. Pinterest has its uses in a more social setting and trying to gather things like haircut ideas and dresses and things of that nature. But I found that for research and for school type things, that Symbaloo would be more useful. For bookmarking sites, that could be helpful. For organizing resources and writing a paper, things of that nature, which is one of the more directly applicable things for my major of what we did in class this semester. So over here, Padlet number six was the Canva travel brochure. And a brochure is a really concise way to present information in a visual fashion. It can be a great visual aid for a presentation. Personally, creating the brochure was not my favorite thing that we did this semester. I found Canva to be really particular and finicky, and it was really easy to accidentally change things I didn't mean to change. And I did kind of struggle to make things the way that I wanted them to look and the way that I wanted them to be in Canva more than in other sources. So number seven, more on Canva, but this time in regards to our Canva presentation. I did think that Canva had a lot of different themes for slides than other slide presentation apps. It can be in Google Slides and in Microsoft PowerPoint even, I find myself tending to use the same themes over and over and over again and seeing the same things used by other people over and over and over again. And I thought Canva provided a good alternative to that with unique templates that were unique to Canva. I did like that it offered a variety of media. So you could make your brochure, you could make a presentation. There were all sorts of things that you can do. And of the features it has, I do think that the slide presentation feature is most applicable and what I'm most likely to do, would be most likely to use again moving forward in the future. So number eight is our Google slideshow. And we made a Google slideshow presentation to present information about a Google app. And my favorite feature of Google Slides was that it automatically saves all the changes that you make, so you never lose any of your work. I think this is really cool. That's something that's across all Google apps, and that is probably my favorite feature of the Google apps across the board, is that you never lose any of your work because it automatically saves for you. So next, number nine is Blogger. We used another Google app. We used Blogger to make a blog about something that interests us. in Mine About Travel, it included my blog included a page about me, really getting to know me, as well as an RSS feed that linked to other travel blogs and their posts. And an RSS feed is a web feature that links to another website or blog and updates with the posts of those websites, blogs, or application in real time. So the most recent post pops up at the top of the RSS feed. It was cool to make a blog because it was something I'd never done before, but I don't think that I will be using Blogger in the future professionally or in my further education. I could have the potentially create a blog recreationally, and if I were to try to connect that recreational and professional side, I could potentially make a blog regarding proper dental hygiene practices in my free time or something of that sort, but that's not something I'm particularly interested in, so I don't necessarily see myself doing that moving forward, though I could if I ever wanted to. Number 10 is making our movie. So I used iMovie to create my quarantine movie, and it was just about what I did in quarantine and what my quarantine experience was like. Using iMovie, I was really surprised at how easy it was to use and how user-friendly it really was. It was really easy to make adjustments and edits in iMovie, more so than I ever anticipated. And once that movie was complete, we did post it to YouTube so that it could be viewed by others and Miss Debbie. And then number 11 was our Google site. So back here on the left, we used Google Sites to make a website with multiple pages. The website had a homepage with biographical information, a second resume page that included a copy of my resume and the All About Us presentation we made earlier in the semester. It had a third page about my hobbies and interests, which included the Canvas slide presentation I had made about Italy and travel. And the fourth page of the blog was about my blog that I created. And the fifth and final page was about my past work experiences and future plans moving forward. I thought Google, creating a website was a cool way to bring everything together and combine things into one location. But after using Padlet, I do like Padlet better than Google Sites for that purpose as a kind of curation source. So that really brings us into Padlet number 12, which is about Padlet. So using Padlet reminded me of the other curation sites we'd used earlier in the semester, but I found it to be a lot more diverse. Padlet allows you to link a variety of different media rather than just websites, which was the case with some of the other curation sites that we'd used. I found Padlet to be a very effective way of getting all of your work into a common place. And I like that it has the potential, it has lots of potential wide applications, considering how easy it is for others to view and respond to the post. I actually have used Padlet in another class before of 250 something students, and I will say in that case it can be a little bit overwhelming with that many people posting and trying to find particular posts, but I think in a smaller setting it can be a really interesting way to engage with other people and respond to each other's posts and get other people's ideas. So number 13 is my thoughts on Screencast-O-Matic, and as I'm just now doing the screencast, that is TBD, my feelings on that. So far so good. But I will be going back and adding more information on my final thoughts on Screencast-O-Matic. So far, it has been relatively user-friendly and not difficult or hard to figure out. So number 14 is my final thoughts for this class. And what I have to say about that is this class was probably one of the most enjoyable classes that I've taken in a while because it wasn't a constant source of stress like a lot of my other classes were. I enjoyed exploring the Google apps most because I felt like they were the most applicable to what I'm doing with my life and in my education. I actually have implemented Google Docs and Google Slides into my work in other classes this semester with other students. And I've already said this, but Canva was probably my least favorite thing we did this semester because I did find it to be finicky and overly sensitive to correction, which was frustrating when I was trying to work with the software. This semester has been a relatively stressful one, and so because of that, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming Christmas break and the lack of work that I will have to do over the break. Moving past that, I'll hope to graduate in May, but honestly, right now, all I'm focused on is getting through the finals, getting through the semester, and looking forward to that break.